So here we are with the Pinzgauer. We're just going to move it into the open space here a second, and then we're going to have a look around it and see what we think of it. Parked a bit close to the wall last night, so it'll take some climbing to get in. So here we are in the luxurious cabin. We'll go through all this in a minute. We'll just get her moved just now. Alright, we've got glow plug light on there. That's off. Starts nicely on the button, doesn't it? So it's a dog leg first, which I'll have to get used to. Compressor kicking in for the air suspension. Yeah, building up pressure quick, so that's good. I think we'll leave it off just now, and then we'll have our look around. So yeah, this is 78 KL80. It's a former 2-para Pinzgauer. If anybody knows anybody in 2-para who might have some pictures from in service, that might be quite an interesting thing for us to see. We'll just do a first lap round about it. And then we'll kind of go into some detail round about it. This is going to work as a good list for me to work off through our time. So I think we'll just start in this front corner. So I noticed yesterday they got a loose indicator lens there. The plastic section where it's screwed in has come away, so that might need some plastic weld or something like that. We'll have a light check in a minute. I haven't really had a play with the lights yet at all, so we'll see where things are. Bonnet nice and straight. Dalit Haflinger was really good to give me a drop pin in with the price. There was a couple of little things I asked for him to put in, and he met my demands, so I'm really happy with the service I've had there. We'll get the nose cone off at some point, and we'll have a look at what the radiator looks like. That's probably not going to be in today. Under a little grill at the front, we've got our coolant, and we've got our brake cylinder. Both are sitting relatively well, and need a tiny little bit of coolant in it. It's just a couple of mil under the max line, so that's good. Yeah, nice straight bumper. There was a little rust spot here. I noticed that I'm going to have to fix up. I'm going to need to get some green paint, but my usual green paint supplier's just gone out of business, or sold the business, and they're not listing any military paint anymore. So we're going to have to look at where we're going to get our military paint from in the future. Yeah, so we're missing, when we come around the driver's side, right side, we're missing our wooden trim along the side. It's necessary in the UK to have that wooden trim. because if you look down the side, you'll see the tyres are sticking out well past the bodywork. Okay, and that's a legal requirement for MOTs, that you've got to have the tyres inside the bodywork. So therefore, if we go around the passenger side with the trim still inside, you'll see that the wood trim covers over the grip of the tyres, which is the requirement. So I'm going to have that made. The price of that piece of wood from Pinzgauer is extortionate, something about 1,200 plus the VAT. So we're going to have that made of a decent wood, I think. I know quite a few carpenters and stuff, and any of my friends, if they want to pitch in and do a roll job for me, that would be good. It's all been re-riv nutted, so the unit had done the work to replace the wood, but they've not been nice enough to give us the wood to put in there, so hey ho. Mirrors, they're all good, they're all intact, they're all solid. I need to adjust them so I can actually see out of them. It was a bit, I should have maybe done that before I tried to reverse it off the trailer yesterday. Was craning to see all the way around. Canvas is in really good condition. I'm really happy with this. I need to replace this bungee, but I've got a good old supply on the roll of military bungee, so I'll get that all done off. That might be one of the first jobs I do. Tank looks in really good condition. It's been well painted, and the protectors are all in place. Drop down for the sides when they come down. This side door is in a pretty bad state. This front corner doesn't look too bad, but the inside on the top rail on the inside is a bit nasty. So we'll have a look and fold that down in a minute, and we'll see what why I'm looking at. I'm going to replace that, and Dale at Halfling has already given me a price for that, because he has them new powder coated in stock. So that's good, having a nice local dealer. He's about an hour away up the motorway from me, so that's nice and handy. Coming around the back, okay, all our lights are in good condition. We've got our guards. A lot of the ones that have come through the auction, they've been missing guards and stuff. I've got 2 guards in 2 different colours, but that's just going to be a case of either some black or some green paint at some point. Make them both the same. Tiny little dent there, I don't think I'm going to do anything with. Tidy up a couple of rust spots. Back doors had a bit of the usual battering. Careless people with their hitch. Or there's been a trailer on the back and they've had the tailgate down, they've driven off, and the jockey wheel of the trailer's battered that in. But yeah, that's might take the skin off that and hammer it straight out. Jerry can holders in nice condition. I've got a little tweak in it there. I might just try and see what I can do without heat. I don't think I want to heat it up to straighten it up. I'll still take the jerry can inside it, so I don't see any problem. My number plate holder, we're missing our Steyr Puch badge off the back of here, so I'm going to try and track one of those down from somewhere. I want to try and get it as complete as possible, but keep it still in the military theme. This wood down this side is in an alright condition. It's going to be good enough to take the pattern off for the other side, and we'll probably, while we're doing that, make new for this horizontal one. The front one's brand new, I think. It's been replaced, it's in good nick. Tyres are the good BFs all round, on the 7-inch wheels. That's what I wanted. I didn't want the 6 inches with the Michelins. I found yesterday this has had a battering at some point. It's pulled the riv nut out the bodywork, so that's a nice easy fix. I'm probably going to get onto fairly quick as well. You'll see up there the hole where it's been pulled out of. They'll have just bumped something with that at some point. These are just so that when the body comes down they don't bounce on the tyres. Battery boxes, underneath they're in really good shape. Quite often they're rotted out from what I've been told. Dale put in a couple of rough and ready old batteries just to get me on and off the trailer. So I'll be putting some decent batteries in it. From the discussions we've been having about the place, I think there's going to be some Optima red tops going in, and I think I will go from 2 batteries to 4 batteries, and fill up another 2 batteries in the toolbox as well, just because when I'm out and about in it, I think I'm going to want the extra capacity. I'm going to put boiling vessel and things in it to go to shows and things. So we want to have the capacity for not flattening the batteries while I'm boiling the kettle. I really like these battery box door systems. Yep, so tyres there. We've got the wheel nut tensioner indicators on them. That's good. We're missing a Pinzgauer sign for here. Again, I'll just try and get them. They're just plastic trim parts that go missing. These, I know I was discussing these. They're for chaining for lifting with when they're lifting with a helicopter or something like that. I think I'm going to actually replace these with the proper ones. These have been made, I would suggest they're probably made in a Remy workshop or something. The proper ones should have a cut out of them so the chain can get slotted in nice and simply. I've tracked down the proper sets for them, so they're not hard to get. So I'll get one of them sets. When we replace the woodwork, we'll replace those in there too. Doors were in really nice condition. We find about the place that the doors are quite often rotted out, so it was a big bonus. There's no rust patches in any of the doors. The door seal on this side is nice and intact. On that side, it's a bit ropey, it's a bit dangly, so it's going to need glued back in place. The door locks, when Dale got this from the auction, the steering column lock, the ignition barrel, was missing, so he's put a new one in there, but that means that then we've not got the keys for the 3 doors or the fuel cap. So Dale's supplying me with a new set of locks, so that's going to be another video we can do at some point down the line, how to change the door locks on them. The windows are really good. They're actually better, I think, than the Defender system. I've got a fair amount of experience in the Defender system of the horrible locking nut that never really locks them, but these seem quite an efficient system, quite like that. Bit of moss round about it. It's obviously sat in an army yard as well. Before Dale's had it about 3 months, I think Dale's had it sitting in his yard. So go around and we'll just have a bit of a look around our suspension components, see where we're at with these. Bit in here. So I think that ball joint's just creased. I don't think that's split, which is good. However, that one up there is split, so that one's going to need replacing. So if I'm doing that one, I might as well do that one at the same time. All the pipes look good, there's no big horrible flakes of rust. The chromes are in really good condition, the chrome balls. We'll have a look at brake pads, but from the feel of them there's not a lot of life left in the brake pads, so I'm probably going to have to replace some brake pads fairly soon. Lots of grease on certain things. We'll do a video on how to do all the grease points and everything along the way. A few bits need some undercoat and some paint on them. Good solid steps. Apparently these are classed as brush guards instead of actual steps, so they get the brush out the way of the wheels, or direct them underneath. Looking under here, the exhaust's a bit red from rust, but it's nothing that I'm going to panic about. There's a couple of bits I'm probably going to rub down and paint. Certainly the exhaust end, just to make it look a bit neater. It's had a reconditioned engine at some point because it's in the Army engine green paint, but that's to be expected. The Army like to change their engines about a bit. No obvious drips or anything. The sumps are all good and dry. Not a lot of meat on that brake pad again, so we'll get that. Get, I think, all the brake pads replaced fairly quickly. Springs again. Dale said this is a modification on the rear. On the rear airbags. But he's doing a modification kit as well that is upgrading things. Apparently this boot is facing in the wrong direction. It should be facing 9 o'clock towards the rear of the vehicle, so that's going to be a job we need to undo and move. Grease points well done up again. NATO towing plug. If you look at some of my other videos, I've got videos on how to maintain and work on them. Oh, I'm missing a little R clip I need to put in there. Oh. Right, so just need to loosen that off, and we need to find an R clip so that we don't have a spinning NATO hitch, because there's nothing worse than that for getting your crack in the shin. Around this side, all the wiring's quite exposed on it, which I found was quite funny, but that's normal. Everything looks nice and neat down here. Got a convoy light there. Typically military thing that you don't see on many civilian vehicles is a convoy light. And again down here, yeah, our springs on these are pretty monster. I think we will be going some to break them. I don't think it'll be impossible, but we will do that as required. New steering ram. Dale said that's an expensive part, so it's good that that's a new one on there. That boot looks alright. I can't see in there to have a look at this bush. We'll maybe get the steering lock the other way to have a look at that. Shortly. Right. Get the important coffee in. And we'll have a bit more of a look. So I went to Dale looking for an FFR truck, which is fitted for radio. I noticed there's a rust spot here I'm going to have to do something with fairly soon. Yeah, so fitted for radio. It just means that we've got more options of things to wire up later on. A lot of the cabling for the radio systems and things is already in. Some of that's still going to be redundant because it's too new for the equipment I'm going to want to fit in it. So we'll have a look in here. Well, let's have a look at the lights first of all. So military 7-way light switch. Unfortunately, it's missing a knob. Dale's got a really good price on these as complete units at the minute. So he's sending me one of them down fairly soon. So we'll do a video on how to replace one of those out. And we'll get a screwdriver. So, when the lights are off, that means that the electrics like the horn and things will work with the ignition on. If we push it in, turn it round, we get more and more lights come on. If we turn it around to number 1, that's going to be should be side lights, which I'll have a driver side light but not a passenger side. We'll take the water in the back and we'll just see. So I have tail lights. Okay, if we go around to position 2, then we've got dip beam working. And if we pull that towards us, push that away from us, right, then we've got our main beam working. Okay, and if we pull it towards us, we've got the usual flash. Going around this way, right, 0's there. Number S1 should just be our convoy light under here, which doesn't appear to be on. Okay, and then if we go around to position 2, that should be convoy, which isn't on, and side lights, and if we go around to position 3, we've got a side light come on there. We should have tails. No. Okay, so a bit of work to do on that 7-way switch. Not everything's where it should be. When you're in the compact lighting section, then If we go around once from there, then our indicators and things won't work. If we come back round, yeah, so our indicators don't work in that position. But if we come to there, yeah, properly knackered now. Right, so good thing I'm ordering one of them, seeing that's just broke. Right, so 0 is absolutely nothing working. 1 AG means that we've got indicators and things, but then there's no side lights or tail lights on. When we go around to 1, then we've got our side lights and things. Our interior lights are working on the dimmers, and we've got hazards. When we go around to number 2, alright, we get our fog lights on as well. If we pull the collar up and go there. Check for reversing light working. Little interior light needs fixing. It's just this wire needs to get reconnected in here, and when that happens I can get my heater surround back in. That's another thing that Dale sorted out for me. So we've got handbrake, twist it to release it and pull it up to disengage. High and low range, all-wheel drive rear and front lockers. Okay, I think at the minute the all-wheel drive is locked on, so I need to investigate why that is. Oh, my interior lights come on. That wasn't working yesterday, so that must come on with it'll disappear off with the combat lighting. And it works on the door switches as well. Pulling that forwards, we've got rifle racks, piece here that I'm trying to figure out what that's for, if anybody knows. I think it might be for something like a sight system, because it's accompanying the rifle there. Air filters behind this box, and like I say, all our radio equipment and everything is all set up in there. Just turn the lights off so we don't flatten any batteries. You can see why you need a proper knob for the proper job. Right, so yeah, we'll go down fuse boxes back in here. We haven't had an investigation in that. Oh, needs a new riv nut of the right size, because that isn't that. Okay, so yeah, all our fuses are there. Not a common fuse you see round about, so we'll have a look at those in long term things. They'll be the big main fuses. In the middle, that white one looks a bit ropey. Fix that riv nut at some point. Seats are in really good condition. This side one's been a replacement. That side's an original. That one's got a tiny little hole in it. Look around here on the passenger side. So we've got a little glove box, and it is quite small. Okay, windscreen washers and the compressor, which looks absolutely brand new, for the rear airbags, airbag suspension. Apparently the valves for the four-wheel drive selectors are under that floor. Flip this forward. This has got this proper seat markings on there. More power systems. So we've got a power isolator, big jump start point there for when we need it, and then more stuff I'm gonna have to investigate backwards and forwards about how it's secured, and this is just a protection box, I think, to protect that main cable. We'll have a look at where the power supply is in. We've got to put another power supply in to run some of the items we're going to run in this. Fire extinguisher cradle. It's probably worth getting a fire extinguisher to fit in there at some point. Back. This bungee looks as bad condition as the front one, so that's gonna get replaced too. Up there we've got a radio mount that's been back to us, or kept on the vehicle. Few cables coming in here, so this has had a mount coming up, and it's also got a GPS receiver there for the system that would have been in the vehicle. There's quite a big dent in the roof, chewing gum on the roof. Yeah, there's been somebody's put some weight on the top, or there's been some pretty heavy significant snow load put on there. And it's bent the internal rails, so we're going to have the job of straightening those rails out. There should be an arch in that to let the water run off. As we live in sunny Scotland, we're going to need to do that sooner rather than later, I think. Yeah, so back around the back again. Our door locks don't match, so we're replacing our full set of door locks. This is zipped and velcroed with an internal curtain that you can And then nice little door comes down and we can have our look inside. Handle to get out from the inside. That maybe wants a bit of tidying in the long term. Oh, it might be a bit dark in here. A couple of tyres. I made sure to ask Dale to give me a spare, so he's given me a 7-inch spare. The tyre that's on it is about toast. I would say it's been in front with the unusual camber on the front tyres on these. They wear quite significantly on the outside, so you need to rotate your tyres and have quite a regular pattern of that. But he's also given me an extra BF that we can keep as a spare. Spare normally gets mounted up in that area and up in this area, and I need to get the bolt to get that done nicely, and there should also be a strapping system to hold that up. So I'll try and track all them down. Should be a couple of jerry cans in there, but I'm going to try and have a jerry can there and fit a boiling vessel in that corner, so that we can have hot brews and things when we're away. So these 3 poles, they're going to need to come out and get straightened out. There's a bend in that pole there, not as bad a one in there. This pole here seems to have bent forward as well as being bent down. It should line up with this Velcro tube, which it is no longer doing. Loads more Bowman radio stuff coming all the way to this back corner, and that would have been for radio equipment and such that would have been out there. As you can see, quite a lot of rust along this door, and I think I've just decided it's better just to properly replace that off the bat, and we'll get the proper job done. Really happy that I've got a set of 4 seats. A lot of the trucks that I've been looking at and bidding on, Brightwells and things, they were coming with 1 fitted seat in that corner. But really happy that I've got the 4 seats. So this would take 8 people in the back, but I'll register it, I think, for 9 in total, including the driver. That keeps it to the maximum capacity I can, and there's lap straps that fit these latches, these D-rings down here, so you get a lap strap that comes out and round. I've found that the Pinzgauer ones are absolutely extortionate. However, you can get a Defender one exactly the same for 20 quid a lap strap. So I'll be getting a batch of 7 of those in the long term, so that we can get everybody in here and have them reasonably safe. I'm really happy with the head height in here. We should be able to have some fun. It would be a bit cramped with 7 people in, but it is what it is. These seats are quite amazing the way they've been thought out. They roll forwards. Tie up there, and they give you a nice flat platform in the back, so that should be a double bed size, so if we want to go camping in it. But it should also be a flat bed when the sides open, that you can put a pallet in here as well, which will be really handy, just as not having to put the odd trailer on when you're just needing to pick a single thing up. That's one of these straps from something like that. That's from up there. So we will find some way to re-rivet that back up there. Maybe you need to make a little spreader plate for the outside, but that is not a hard job. We'll take you outside and we'll open that side up so we can see what the opening's like. So again, nice simple bungee system, and Velcro and zip. Latches here, pull out and slide down, and then you can see the amount of red stuff in there, and then we're loadable from the side with a forklift, which is an awesome thing. So really looking to enjoy having a play with that, and that, apart from the handle, that misses the wheel, so you could just about drive along with the sides, and there's a way to latch them in, but you're going to rip that handle up pretty quickly if you do that. Yeah. Fuel cap, again, can't open that because we need a new set of keys. At the minute I just have the ignition set, so we will get all those wired, all those matched, all 5 of them to the same thing. And that is her. One of the next things we're going to do is to get her down plated. So currently you'll see that it says it's 3850 maximum mass. Okay, we need to get that down to 3.5 so that we can MOT it as basically a car instead of as a 7.5 ton truck, which I don't want to do because my wife would have to go and do another driving test. So Dale's talked me through the process of that. He's been on the email this morning with some helpful documents to copy with my details on, and that will help us all out in getting it down plated. It needs to go to a weigh bridge as part of that process to get weighed. So we'll get that done, and that's probably going to be a video just in that process, how to down plate. And also I've done my freedom of information request for it, which gives us the information of what units had it, where it was pretty much in the world, and what major repairs and servicing it had done on it in its time in the armed forces. So we'll get that all, and we'll see what her history is, which should be quite interesting. Like I say, X2 Para, if anybody 2 Para or connected to them might have any images of 78 KL80, then that would be really quite good to see. Something that when I go to some shows and stuff, it'll be quite nice to have a bit of an information board up and have some images about of where she's been, what she's done. So that's her, and we'll have a catch up with how we get on moving forward.